Welcome into another episode of Still Talking with the man himself, Andy Castell, also known as AJ3. He's a massive Everton fan. He's met Peter Crouch and lived to tell the tale. Andy, you have been doing YouTube at the highest level for so many years, and you still do to this day. Welcome in. Thank you so much for coming
Hello,
in.
mate. Is Peter Crouch a known dangerous individual, is he?
No, I just thought it was a great intro. I thought, he's that tall. Is he intimidating?
He seems taller, but he's not actually that tall. Is that a weird thing to say? It's like taller. Proportionally. So like you, for example, are like dead skinny.
Yeah.
And you're like pretty tall, but you're not like Peter Crouch tall. But if you made you Peter Crouch tall, you'd look like you're about 8 foot. Just because proportionally, it's like, he's so tall but so skinny. Whereas Bateson, another FIFA YouTuber, he's about the same height as Peter Crouch. But Bateson's like absolutely built. So he just looks normal.
Is the same height as Peter Crouch.
Something like that, yeah. It's like close anyway.
But you're just saying because of the proportion of the weight difference?
Because Bateson's massive. Like, he's lost a lot of weight. Shout out to Bateson. But he's like massive, like built. Like, he's proper broad.
Compared to Peter Crouch,
yeah. Peter Crouch is like a stick figure. So Peter Crouch looks bigger.
Do you reckon you'd have him in a scrap?
Peter Crouch, you're messing. I'd be able to jab me from the other side of the room.
Well, I didn't want to start there, but where I want to take it is, you are an OG in the game, and I'll say that so many times this whole episode, but I want you to take me to the very start where we can learn from you, because I've watched you as a kid. I don't know if that makes you feel old, but It
does make me feel old. Do you want to know what else makes me feel old, right?
What?
Shout out to Bold Street Coffee, by the way, whilst we're in Liverpool. What a place to get a coffee.
I've also got Bold Street in my cup, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, Ryan had a terrible latte. I got him a nice one. Anyway, I hate with a passion voice notes just because I just can't be asked to listen to them. Like, just type me a few sentences and I'll read it dead quick.
Yeah.
Ryan has just introduced me to the maddest thing ever. So, like, I hate voice notes. I text him saying, do you want a coffee? He sent me a fucking vlog.
He
sent me an actual vlog on WhatsApp and I just replied to it, what in the Gen Z is that? Like, how old am I? Why the fuck are you sending me vlogs? Would you like a coffee? Yes, please. No. Hi, Andy. Welcome to another Stillryan vlog. I've got myself a coffee, but if you're going, can I have a latte? What are you doing?
I'm so sorry. Honestly, you need to get up with the times. That's what everyone does now.
You do not sit there vlogging your mates on WhatsApp.
I promise you right now, I send video notes to everyone. It's the future and it's the now.
Mad.
You're being left behind.
What are you doing?
You need, to be honest, I do get you though, efficiency, you need to see the text, but take me to the very start of your content journey.
Yeah, sorry.
Now you're ripping into my vlogging journey.
Yeah.
Take me to the start, and.
So I'm like 31 now. I've always watched YouTube from basically when YouTube came out, to be honest with you, whether it was the original stupid cat videos and stuff that people would send around and it was just like some silly little site. So people started to make like proper videos on it and like actual content. And I got into Ultimate Team, me and my mates, in first year of uni, because we basically didn't do any work.
What time around is this? Like what year?
It was FIFA 12. It's like
wow.
2012.
13 years ago?
Yeah, so I've been doing YouTube 12 years. So we got into Ultimate Team and was just messing about with it and was just one of the lads had a projector in his dorm room and we'd play FIFA on it. And I just got into making my own account and like trying to trade on the web app and stuff. And back then you used to have like, you could only do X amount of trades. I think it was 5 on the web app a day. So you had bid tokens, and before I went to sleep, I'd like use my bid tokens to bid on something cheap that was expiring at like 3 a.m. to see if I could get it cheap to make some coins. Anyway, probably got well nerdy about it. And then my uni I went to York, and it tries to be posh and tries to be all that. Runs on the Oxbridge calendar. So Oxford to Cambridge, and I think St Andrews does it as well. Every other uni in the UK, as far as I'm aware, runs September to June, July, whatever it is, like normal school time.
Yeah.
Oxford, Cambridge, York, St Andrews run October to May. So you get, instead of 6 weeks off in the summer, you get like 10 weeks off.
Oh my God, that's a lesson.
The term starts so much later. But what that meant was all of my mates from Liverpool had gone to uni themselves, went back to uni in September. All my mates from uni who hadn't started uni again yet were not from Liverpool. Like, we met at York. So I was just sat at my mum's from September till we started in October, where the new FIFA had come out, and I was watching other people. It was FIFA 13 at this point. I was watching other people make videos on it. I just had nothing to do. And I was just like, I'll have a go at making a video.
So because you had that free time of the different calendar schedule, you thought, I'm just going to give it a go.
Just something to do, yeah. So
and then when did you notice it was becoming like...
Welcome to another video with me. I'm going to teach you how to trade. Yeah.
Is that still out there?
Yeah. I don't think I've ever deleted the video.
Never?
Don't think so. Maybe one. I might have privated one because it was a bit unbrand friendly.
Okay.
But it was just drinking FIFA, like when we was in uni.
I had that.
So we just threw up on camera because he downed a pint. So I was like, it's a bit grim.
So when did you notice in that time that I can actually do this for a job? I can become full-time? Oh my God.
I didn't. I had a job as a teacher. So I was going to teach, South Sefton.
Is this known?
Yeah.
Am I just not knowledgeable?
Just haven't watched every Squad Builder show now, never have you? No, so like, proper bit of a tangent. Matt HD Gamer's mum was my psychology teacher. Do you know Matt?
I know Matt.
Yeah.
I'm
Matt's mum was
jaw-dropped.
my A-level psychology teacher, and I didn't know at the time. And I was wanting to be a teacher, was going in, as well as doing YouTube, I was also like working in a pub, working at Tesco, and like going into college to be, again, because school had started, when I hadn't got back to uni, I could do like 3 weeks of work experience, basically. I was just a teaching assistant for free.
Like a cheat code.
Yeah, so I was like going in and helping with A-level classes and stuff like that whilst I was doing a psychology degree. And afterwards, she said to me, we need another teacher. Would you like a job? And I was like, I haven't got a PGC. I'm not a qualified teacher. She's like, don't worry, you can work like Monday to Thursday. And then on Friday, go to Edge Hill. We've got like a connection with them. You can do your qualification there. Be a teacher. After 3 years, you'll be qualified. You've already been working for 3 years. But I was like, oh yeah, this is class. I'll do that. A couple of days before term was due to start, because bear in mind, going back to me being old, you didn't used to have to stay in. Did you have to stay in school till you were 18? Like legally?
I don't remember. I think I had to go to some form of college, maybe.
Yeah, so you didn't used to have to. Like you could leave when you were 16 and just do what you wanted. Whereas now you have to stay in school till you're 18. So back then the colleges weren't like obligated to take people. So you had to get X amount of GCSEs to get into college. And that year that I was meant to become a teacher, just there was an influx of thick kids basically. And they just all failed the GCSEs. And she rings me up like 3 days before term was due to start, where they'd all gone for their induction day. And like you turn up and you like show them your certificates and, oh, I want to do these courses. None of them got in. And she's like, yeah, we don't need another teacher. We've not got enough kids. We'll be fine with the ones from last year.
Wow.
So I bought a car, spent about 300 quid on ASOS on suits. I was just like, shit. Like, what am I going to do?
Oh my God. Everything happens for a reason there, doesn't it?
So then I went in and spoke to her, and she was like, oh, what are you going to do? I'm really sorry, blah, blah, blah. So I was explaining that I've got this YouTube channel. I was like making a couple hundred quid a month, whatever. She's like, oh, my son does that. And then I put two and two together with the surnames, that it was Matt's mum. And she's like, oh, if you need any advice, let me know. My husband helps him out with his business stuff, blah, 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 blah. So then I give myself, from there, I was like, okay, this could be a thing.
There's something there.
Yeah. So I give myself 12 months to go from, I think I had like 50k subs. I was making a few, like I could pay for my car. It wasn't the end of the world. It was only a course. It was like 100 quid a month. Give my mum some money for like housekeeping. I could go to cinema with my girlfriend and stuff. It wasn't the end of the world. And I gave myself 12 months to go from that to making as much money as I would have done if I'd become a teacher. And if at that point I'd done it, I was allowed to carry on doing YouTube. And if I didn't, I had to go and get a proper job. And 18 months later, I had 1 million subs.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is some story in itself. 18 months later, you had 1 million subs.
Yeah.
It's funny because I've got questions on the land I'd love to ask you now, but I'll ask you later on. But in that whole journey from the minute you were becoming a teacher to now, what do you see that's changed the most?
In myself or in the world or in YouTube?
In yourself and the content game.
Oh, wow. That is an incredibly broad question. It's become a lot more like a business. A lot less. It's still very parasocial, but it feels a lot less like somebody just putting themselves on the internet. And it's a lot more. I hesitate to say, like on record, that Mr. Beast has ruined YouTube, but Mr. Beast has kind of ruined YouTube in the way that he has completely changed the game and how it's just gone. I always struggle to think of like an analogy from like another industry as to what that means, because that's such a horrible thing to say. Like Mr. Beast is obviously the most successful YouTuber ever, and he's like absolutely smashed it.
He's doing amazing things, but I know exactly what you mean.
He's changed it so much, and the best example I could ever think of is kind of like Christian Bale with acting. What Christian Bale does to his body to do method acting, and like one film he's absolutely shredded for Batman, the next one he's like basically anorexic, then he's morbidly obese, and that's not healthy and that's not an okay thing. If that became the most optimum way to make a film, people would be like, Christian Bale's ruined filmmaking. And he hadn't. He just made it better, but he did it in such an unhealthy kind of way. And I even seen Mr. Beast on
Diary of a CEO.
Yeah, and he was like, "Are you happy?" And Mr. Beast was like,
"Oh my, I literally seen a clip about it. What an interesting topic to bring up, because he literally says, the reason no one does what I do is because I am mentally not happy every day. I wake up and I just say, if I get through this, no one will be able to do it because it's not normal to do what I'm doing."
Yeah, so he's basically broken YouTube and he's turned it into such a like, I know you do a lot of short form content. Short form's kind of the same. It's like, not to call your content brain rot, but TikTok is like brain rot, and it's like ruins people's attention span. Even me, like I'm not like some perfect person. I scroll on Instagram way too much, even
Everyone
though I'm like
does.
in the game. Yeah. It's changed a lot. And it started off as like people just uploading stupid videos like You've Been Framed. And it slowly grew into like people's like putting their personalities out there and just being themselves and making some content. And obviously some people were better at it, some people were more engaging, etc., etc. It's become very sanitized is maybe the way to put it, where it's all about how do I get the most audience retention after 15 seconds? What little hit of dopamine can I give them? What am I going to tease that's going to happen 12 minutes later? And then at that 12 minutes, I'm going to tease something else that's going to happen in 6 minutes. How do I trial these 3 different thumbnails to make sure people click on it? And then when they do click on it, their retention rate is, it's just like, it's so different. It's actually kind of crazy. I think some of it is Mr. Beast and that form of content where they've algorithmically and like systematically used data to optimize their content to the absolute extreme. And some of it is also short form content where people just don't have an attention span to sit and watch a video anymore. And it's actually like kind of mad. And I don't. Like me saying that, I'm not like shitting on people. Like I'll be like watching the footy but flicking on Instagram and then I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah, you can't focus.
Yeah.
Because you're scrolling.
It's like made my ADHD so bad.
You know what, brother? You just blew this whole podcast up because you're so right. So in my eyes, you can correct me if I'm thinking here. You were at the start of YouTube of like, in my eyes, this is my opinion, making proper videos, proper YouTube videos where it's entertaining and people grow up and watch it. And I've come into the content game where it's short form.
Yeah.
Short
and
form.
people do still do that. And like, obviously I still do that. And like, I was in a Chris MD shoot the other day and that video is going to be so good. And like Chris's videos are amazing. People do still do it, but it's so saturated now and there's so much stuff and so much content that it's so much easier to make a 30-second video that only takes someone 30 seconds to give you a view as opposed to 30 minutes.
Do you think it ever will go back full circle where people don't want the 30 seconds anymore, they want the 30 minutes?
Yeah. So
do you think it's
noticed? Happening? Yeah. So we had Vine, where it was 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Then we got TikTok, 60 seconds. Then Instagram was 90 seconds. Now TikTok, you can upload a video for as long as you want.
As long as you want. So it's full circle coming again.
Yeah, yeah.
And this is why we've started the podcast.
Yeah.
Do you know what? You're so right when you speak about it though. It's such an unhealthy addiction of scrolling. You see and take in so much information every day when you are scrolling and you're watching videos. It's disgusting.
One of the best things I ever did was stop watching the news.
Oh, I don't watch the news, yeah.
Yeah. It's just so depressing.
It's sad. Do you know what? Twitter or X is a little bit like that now on the feed.
I don't go on Twitter at all.
And everyone on there is very like aggressive. Like everyone wants to take everyone's head off.
I used to love Twitter. Like it was such a good way to engage with your community. And just, not even networking like a business way, just have a laugh with people and argue with people about footy. Not in like a horrible way, like have banter with people or like discussions about footy or me put shitty football opinions out that people can retweet 6 months later being like, wait, look at this now.
Well, that's what people do now from 10 years ago. They'll put a tweet up and like an argument, but you don't get that anymore. It's just a bit volatile. So I
don't like Twitter anymore. I don't go on it.
Do you know, because you're 31 now, you've been in the job a long time. Do you see it more as work or do you still find it fun?
Depends what day. This is fun. This is good. This is technically my job. This is work, innit? But this is, it depends, honestly depends what it is. Like that thing of a good bit of advice for people is stop watching the news because it just makes you miserable because it's just like rage bait and drama and depressing stuff is what gets clicks, so they don't actually show. It's like, have you seen all the plane crashes at the moment?
Yeah. Plane
crashes are down. Planes aren't crashing more often. It's just the news is hooked onto it and it's like showing you loads and loads and loads of them. It happens all the time. Like year on year, plane crashes have never happened less. But if you look at the news now, you'll be like, oh my God, I'm going to die.
They're highlighting it.
Yeah.
Fear.
Because that's what gets, the fear gets the clicks. So the other thing, the biggest thing I thought of for like internal lives for myself was the common phrase of, if you do something you love, you'll never work a day in your life. Absolute load of shite.
Do you know what? Explain why so the audience understand, because I get a feeling of it. I love what I do, but I also work, I feel like I work some hard days.
There's a difference between enjoying what you do and wanting to do it, and then sometimes just having to do it. And again, the best analogy I've ever given it. Remember when you're a kid and it's the school holidays? For me, it was COD 4. For you, it was probably like Black Ops 6 or something like that. But you'd finish school and you'd be like, oh my God, I can't wait to get home. And like after school every day, we go back home and play COD 4, play Search and Destroy and whatever. Summer holidays, and you're like, I don't have to wait until I get home from school to play COD. I can just play it all day. I'm off for 6 weeks. And the first week, all you did was you'd wake up, you'd have your breakfast, your mum would go to work, and then you'd go on COD and just play COD all day with your mates.
All day.
What would you do the next day? Play COD all day with your mates. What would you do the next day?
Or it'd be FIFA.
Yeah, or FIFA, whatever you want to play. Yeah. That one game, all day, all day, all day.
I miss it.
Well, you'd do it for about a week or two, and then there'd come a point where you got up and you were like, one of the lads was like, should we play COD? You're like,
yeah.
I've played COD every day for the last 2 weeks. Do you want to go play footy? I might just watch and you just don't want to play it that day. And that's fine. Like, you don't have to sit there and play COD every day. But if you asked yourself 3 weeks ago when you were still in school, you're going to say, don't really want to play COD all day today. Like, what a fucking idiot. Like, you're in school. Why would you not want to play COD all day? Well, because I've just done it for the last 2 weeks in a row.
The last 2 weeks.
So just because you love something and just because it's fun doesn't mean you want to do it all of the time. But sometimes you have to do it because it's your job. Like, you don't have to play COD with your mates. It's not your job. But I have to do it because that's how I pay my mortgage. That's how I pay my bills.
Analogy I have heard in a long time. That is such a good analogy. Like, you can love it at the start of it all, but it gets to a point where you have to do it because it's your job.
Yeah, but if you don't play COD for a few days, you're like, oh, who fancies some Search in the Street? And you jump on, you'll love it again.
You jump on and love it again.
So it's different day to day, and you can't love it all of the time, even when it's like what you think is your favourite thing. It's the same with like football, isn't it? Oh, 300 grand a week and you have to play footy. If you had to play footy every single day of your life, and if you played shit, you got roasted, and then you have to get up for me like, so you're playing footy. Sooner or later, you're going to fucking
yeah, footy. Something's happened to me family, you're playing footy.
Yeah. I don't want to play footy today. Tough shit, you're playing footy.
Yeah, you're playing footy. Unlucky. Yeah. Or 50,000 fans are all screaming, you're crap. You're playing
footy. What do you mean you don't love footy? You're playing footy?
Yeah, well,
play footy? Do you know, like, it's the same thing, but people don't get that with footballers and they don't get it with YouTube because they think it's fun to them. But that's why I say, pick your favourite video game, play it for 3 weeks in a row, and then someone gets up and says you're playing that 12 hours today. Crack on.
That's why I found streaming hard. Because you love it at the start and it's great, but when the nitty and gritty hours come
it's a grind, isn't it? Yeah.
And you've got to sit there and do an 8-hour stream and you don't feel like doing it, that's hard, brother. What I want to know is, over the course of it all, because what you've got above everyone else is you're still competing at the highest level in the game. That's my opinion. Like, you're still consistent on YouTube. You're very, very respected by everyone. What's the biggest lessons you've learned? Like, give me the top 2 maybe. The biggest lesson you've learned over the whole of your journey.
For someone wanting to do content or just in general?
Whatever you feel is more valuable.
Ooh, that's a very open-ended, on-the-spot kind of question. My lesson, and I think I've told this to you for content, is know your own worth. And I think that goes for everyone, whether you're doing content or whether you're just whatever it is that you are doing. We had a conversation ages ago when you was asking me some advice about how much you should be getting for brand deals, what you should be doing. I think know your own worth, definitely for YouTubers and content creators and people creating their own businesses. It doesn't have to be content. Like, it could be you've set up some online shop selling a product that you're already good. You could be an artist. You could be whatever. You could be a plumber. Don't be charging out for 50 quid a day. Plumbers 250 quid a day. Like, know your own worth, that sort of thing. And then for everyone in general, it would probably just be financial responsibility.
Oh, you're big on that. And you really drilled that into me when we were speaking over WhatsApp. You really drilled that into me. You were like, be smart with your money. Don't be a fucking idiot. Yeah,
like, I've spent money on stupid stuff. Like, obviously you should do. Like, everyone should enjoy their money as well. But there's a level, you have to do it within reason, basically. So then get a pension. Have an ISA.
Just started my pension.
Well done.
Thank you.
It's like, it's good for your own personal thing, but it's also good if you just want to be like business savvy. Like, having a pension's a tax break. So then it saves your tax. So then obviously you should have a pension. But it's like having an ISA and like saving up for a house and all stuff like that. The earlier you start doing it, compound interest makes your money worth more. I think we do cooking in school, or at least we did. Like,
cooking class.
Yeah, I can't remember what they used to call it. On telly and like American shows, they call it like home economics or something like that. Don't they? I can't remember what you used to call it. But they just teach you to. They don't teach you to cook. Let's be honest, because nobody gives a shit.
Everyone messes about.
It's such a stupid class. We should actually probably learn more life skills in school like that, but also financial literacy and advice and stuff like that. The amount of people with like, so like for example, people hate credit cards because people have got this very
misconception of them.
Black or white idea of a credit card. The credit card's really good so long as you actually pay your credit card bill off.
Yeah, like I grew up thinking credit cards, oh my God, I'm scared of them. But I've actually got a credit card, and as long as you can afford what you're spending on it, they're good.
Yeah.
But you're
it builds
also
a credit
brought
history, and then you can get a mortgage. And
you're brought up to hate them.
But you have friends who have got 15 grand of credit card debt that they're paying 300 quid interest on and stuff
like that. They don't know how to
like
use them the right way.
Yeah,
and that's where you're saying they need to be brought up to. Did you ever go into that?
Like, well, they're making classes on financial
not making
literacy
classes,
and stuff.
but like maybe like helping towards, or no, is that not something you do?
It depends what you mean, like in what way?
I don't know, maybe you go on the board of education and you basically push that narrative and you basically say they need more life skills, because for you mentioning it, I don't know if it's something that matters to you or you're just saying it needs to happen.
Both, I guess. Like,
it's sad when you see kids who haven't got life skills.
Growing up where I did and seeing people who are... So what makes you a person is nature and nurture, genetics versus environment, where you grew up versus your literal DNA. And being somebody who's grown up very, very working class, but then also gone to like we said, my uni was like Oxford, like trying to be posh and like Oxford. It wasn't quite Oxford and Cambridge, but it was like trying to be. And there's like people who don't get into Oxford and Cambridge go to like York, St Andrews, Durham. Maybe York not so much anymore. I'm not 100% sure on the league tables, but always Durham and always St Andrews. Basically full of posh people. And I love posh people and I love loads of people. And I think one of the biggest, to go like proper philosophical, what's the right way to say this so this doesn't come across really arsey? I feel like people pigeonhole themselves, and especially like people from like where I grew up, where they put themselves in a bracket and a box and don't allow themselves to experience other things. And don't get me wrong, don't like the Tories, but people throw Tory round as like an insult all of the time to loads of different people. And it might be just doing something nice. It's like, I went out for a big meal. Oh, you fucking Tory. Why didn't you just go to Wetherspoons? Because I wanted a nice meal. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I get it.
People like put themselves in that box. But anyway, as someone who's experienced, grown up really working class, and also met people who are like really, really posh and well off and well to do and stuff, the kids that you'd see around ours who were like absolute geniuses, and like the genetics part, the nature part could have like changed the world, but their parents, they'd walk home from school to the pub because that's where their parents were at like 3 o'clock on a Tuesday and 3 o'clock on a Wednesday and 3 o'clock on a Thursday.
Every day.
Yeah. And that kid's probably in jail. Whereas...
But he could have changed the world.
Yeah. Whereas you see some posh people who are just fuck about, but it doesn't matter because the mum and dad's loaded. And it's like, I wish those kids who I like grew up with had that. This is the financial literacy thing. This is how to not fuck your life up. This is how to get yourself a house and be stable. Like, this kid's a genius. Like, not everyone can be a genius, obviously.
You see the hidden potential in the kids you grew up with, and you're just very devastated that the lack of opportunity given by the government and in the school system is just not there for them.
Yeah.
You're one of the very few who got out of that environment and made something of yourself, whereas some didn't make it because they lacked
but I wasn't
opportunity.
necessarily the most smartest or intelligent or like whatever in my school. I would always get like top of the class grades, like top 1, 2, 3 or something like that. But that was because I also applied myself and was sensible and a bit of a nerd and whatever. Whereas there was other people who would have been way, way smarter than me and could have like been way more successful and made way better businesses or cured cancer or become a top surgeon or whatever it might be. But my level of application, maybe it was like 70%. I'm not going to pretend that I was super try hard in school or whatever, but theirs was 0. And if they'd have just had 50, they'd have been way better than I was. Like with footballers, again, to use that example, like the difference between the most talented footballer ever who comes up and just can't be arsed versus Leon Osman, to use an Everton example. Not the most technically gifted footballer you've ever seen in your life, but an absolute grafter, and ended up playing hundreds of games in the Premier League.
Puts everything in.
Yeah. Whereas there's definitely been kids in the Everton Academy who are way better at footy than Osman, but just couldn't be asked. Maybe, I don't want to use a name actually because it's a bit mean in it, but people will know players off the top of their head from their own club or
everyone always says it about Cristiano Ronaldo. He's
a grafter.
People always say, this player was better than him, he should have made it. But Ronaldo fucking trained after he trained and trained even longer. It's so interesting hearing from you, and it's so nice speaking to you. You speak so well. It's like I could fall asleep, but in a good way, because it's so soothing.
Like,
and
my old English teacher when she used to read us To Kill a Mockingbird.
I'm just learning so much, and I'm just like, I'm comfy right now. I'm comfy, and it's actually really nice to listen to. I want to move the shift of the conversation to content.
Yep.
Long form and short form. Now, I've checked your socials.
Yeah.
You're very consistent on YouTube. And I think
and
I think I know a little bit of an answer to this, but I want to hear it from the horse's mouth. Why don't you dive into short form content as much as you could? I checked your Instagram.
Yeah.
The last post
I haven't been on that Instagram for ages. My golf Instagram, I've been doing some, and it's been picking up some traction.
You've been picking up, but that's been 6 months, six months or so.
It's only been like the last couple of weeks that I've started uploading short form.
So why aren't you going short form heavy and matching it with your long form?
Some of it's probably laziness, is the honest answer.
Honest?
Yeah. Just because my job, like I said, I love making YouTube videos, like 85% of the time. But you can sit there and film a video and like spend 4 hours, 5 hours, whatever it is, be like, yeah, on camera. And then you press stop recording and you're like, oh, woof, there we go, that's done. Upload it, sort the files out, whatever we're doing. And then my brain goes, right, let's go to the driving range. Let's go and watch the telly. Let's walk my dogs. Let's play some games. Let's do whatever. My brain doesn't go, and now I need to make some short form stuff. Like, I just sometimes just can't be asked. Even though I know that that's what Instagram and YouTube and stuff like that has become now, where if it wants short form content, you've got to feed the algorithm and give it what it wants. It's kind of, again, the Mr. Beast thing, give the algorithm what it wants, give the algorithm what it wants. And sometimes I'm just like, I can't be asked. Like, I'd rather just upload my videos and I hope they do good. But really, now that I'm thinking about it, now that you've said it as well, I know it myself. I definitely should. Do
you feel like you're missing out on a larger audience?
Yeah, definitely.
Everyone knows you already. But I think short form elevates that audience even more, especially with the new kids coming up. And
it also just puts you in the YouTube algorithm. The amount of people who say, oh, I haven't seen your videos for ages. And then they're watching them. And it's like, but they're not on your YouTube homepage.
So interesting how the algorithms push
Yeah, because nobody uses the sub box anymore. And I'm not uploading short form content. So I'm not getting millions of views a month. So it's not like millions. Like you can get ridiculous amounts of views off short form content. So if you're not getting like 25 mil short form views, the YouTube algorithm is like, put him to the side. And I still have like my regular viewers and I still do well and stuff. But yeah, I would get more views if I uploaded short form content. I probably should.
And are you going to start?
I've been doing it on golf because I've been enjoying it doing it on the golf stuff.
Seen it. I'm gonna get onto the golf stuff because I really think there's, it's hard for me to say that though because I'm new to this game, only 4 years in, and I'm hungry and I'm like, I want to build. I look at you and I admire you and I'm like, oh my God, you've built what every creator wants to build. I don't know if you want to hear that or you don't, but you're sustainable. You've got your own house. You've got a wife, missus. You've got what every creator, every self-employed person dreams to be. So it's just like I just see so much more potential there for even someone who's been in the game so long. If you went short form,
100%. When I was your age, I used to upload 9 videos a week. Did you know that? Like 9 long, not 9 short form videos, Ryan.
9 YouTube.
They didn't exist then, mate. Yeah, 9 actual videos.
That's so much.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at 4 p.m. This is on that year when I was like, I'm going to become a full-time YouTuber.
We'll get there.
Saturday, 10 a.m. Saturday, 6 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. Sunday, 6 p.m.
And when did you upload now? Is it 1 a week?
Nah, like 3.
So I think your last
3 on my main channel.
Was 2 days? 2 days ago, and then 7 days or 6 days ago, maybe.
Yeah, I've been slacking a little bit since Christmas. I always slack at the start of the year.
I need to spank him and get the horse Gideon up again.
Yeah, but I've got multiple channels now as well.
Is it hard though, when you get to a certain level of finance and you get to a certain level of comfortability? Is it hard to get that fire up and go again?
I don't think I've reached that level yet. Like, I could not make YouTube videos and just be like,
I'm done.
Yeah. If someone wants to buy my channel for like millions of quid, knock yourself out, you know? And I'll happily do that and make golf content.
Nice.
Like Rick Shields with his live thing. Have you seen that?
No. Oh, he moved to live golf.
Yeah. But then the Saudis own like 50% of his channel and stuff too. Like they've bought his channel out.
That's odd. Have you seen the golfers like Bryson that making content on that now?
Yeah, he's cool. I like Bryson.
Everyone's making content.
Yeah.
And I feel if you done a 5-hour video, you can just take short form from that. You don't need to do short form. Don't you think so?
I disagree personally. Yeah. I feel like you should be making... It's good to have bonus content. I would call that bonus content. It's not content.
Bonus content, taking it from it or
yeah.
extra?
It's like you've made your piece of content and your piece of content is this podcast. Any clip you get from this is bonus content.
Yeah.
You haven't sat down and thought, I'm going to make this good video. And whether it's a 25-minute video or a 30-second video, there's a process of this is the video, this is where it's going to be, at least in my head, at least. Anyway, yeah, if you grab a clip of me and saying something hopefully funny or insightful,
Mr. Beast ruined
like
YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. So if you like upload that, I'm sure that'll get loads of views, but to me, that's bonus content.
Yeah, it's not actual, because there's a process of a video, isn't there?
Yeah,
like
and you didn't follow that process. You've just grabbed a 30-second clip from this. Whereas if you wanted to make a piece of short form,
like outside. We thought of that idea, came up with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Different.
You know the difference. Yeah. So to me, that's bonus content rather than actual content.
Actual content.
And making actual short form content is, for the length of the video, the amount of effort that goes into it compared to a normal video is like huge, like the ratio.
Completely different. I think that's what puts people off. And the more, like myself, I aim for more bonus content in your eyes than actual thingy because of the process and energy and effort you have to put into it. Yeah,
you're specifically going out of the way to do all of this stuff to get a 30-second video. Whereas you could do twice as much work or 3 times as much work, but get a 30-minute video and you've got 100 times the content for 3 times the work.
So that's why if the Still Gangsters catch me in the streets, I'm a little bit tired because I'm putting so much effort into the podcasts, but I'm also getting the bonus content.
Yeah.
So I'm always, you know what I mean? That's, if you ever catch me, I'm just shattered. I'm sorry. I'm just tired constantly. I want to touch on, before we go on to the golden...
Have you ever been so grumpy and tired that you've not been nice to someone?
I apologise to anyone out there. In the sauna the other day, I was tired. I flew back from Australia, done the Merseyside derby. I was so done in and like done in. I got to the gym now, done my session, got in the sauna, and this lad's like, "Oh, you okay?" And I'm just like, "Yeah." My head's down and I'm just like, yeah. And then I thought, no, this lad wants more energy from me, so I'm going to give him it. So I give him it. But then as soon as he went out the sauna, I went, I was just dead. I was just dead in the sauna.
That is like a golden goose, isn't it? Like someone said, miserable Stillryan.
Honestly, if you would have videoed that would have been the best moment in the whole of my career.
I was saying this to Harry yesterday, Harry Hesketh, when we was filming.
I want to get him on the couch too.
He's like, people come up to me at the match and say, is Ryan actually nice? Like in real life.
Do you know, people ask that when I'm there. People go up to my videographers and go, is he actually nice?
Yeah.
In front of me.
Do you know what I say?
Go on, tell. Oh, wait there, go on. What'd you say?
I tell them you've murdered someone. I reckon you must like have killed a man and there's like a body underneath your garden or something and this is you like balancing it out. Like there's got to be some sort of yin and yang thing there where you're like balancing the forces of the universe because it's like, you're just too nice. So I reckon like you're really nice for like 16 hours a day and then you're just like go and like pop kids balloons or steal their sweets and stuff when they're on the way from home.
Jamie Hutchinson, do you know him, the comedian? He's
I think so.
Ginger comedian, looked like Paul Smith, just a bit more out of shape. Well, anyway, Jamie Hutchinson he says, I've got a dark side.
Yeah, that's what I said.
He said the exact same as you. He said,
he's murdered the man.
He said 2026 is my dark year. And something's going to come out about me.
Told you.
So many people are
It's going around Liverpool, ladies and gentlemen. You're here in the streets. They were talking about it in the coffee shop.
Well, honestly, let me just put a full stop in it dead quick to end the rumours. I haven't killed anyone. Merseyside police, don't dig up my garden because you might find a dead pet and then that looks a bit suspicious. Here is the golden goose.
Go on.
Everton Football Club.
Yeah.
Talk to me.
So
We've got David Moyes back in.
We have got David Moyes back.
How are you feeling?
So to contextualise it, when Moyes was our manager the first time, I had a season ticket. And then when I went to uni, we stopped going to the match because pain in the ass to go backwards and forwards. And then when I moved back home, I used to go to the match with my dad, but my dad had died. So then I didn't start going to the match again with my dad. My dad wasn't there. So I just haven't had a season ticket for ages. Which is... I don't like the whole like armchair fan thing and like people being like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. It's like, I have a very good comeback for it with that because people...
What did you come back?
It's literally that. People will go, oh, you don't even go to the match. And it's like, oh yeah, I used to go to the match with my dad and my dad died.
Did that affect you, that? Your dad dying? Like massively? I know that's a weird question to ask. But like people have different relationships with their parents.
I guess. Yeah.
Was you close to him?
Yeah.
Every week you go to match? Did you go to match with them?
Yeah, we used to go to footy and stuff like that.
Because my dad's still alive and I'm sorry about your dad, by the way. That fucking kills me speaking about stuff like this because my dad's still alive and I go to match with him when I can and he sees his son working with the club he's supported all his life and I'm just like, when you're telling me something like that about your dad dying, I'm just like, fucking hell, I don't want to think about that day.
Yeah, fair.
Like,
I mean, I was like 16, so it was like 15 years ago now, so I'm very much over it now. But it'd be cool to be able to go and play golf and stuff together, but I didn't like golf then because he was shit at teaching, so it made me hate golf.
It's nice that you can smile and have the good memories about him, no man, even though that's such a that hits me deep down, that man.
It's a good comeback though, because when someone's like,
you don't know what to say to
you're
that.
a plastic fan, you don't go to the match. It's like, I used to go to the match with my dad and then he died. Like, it doesn't actually bother me, but the look on their face is very funny. Anyway, yeah, so I had a season ticket for like 12 years, from when I was like 10, 12 years, something like that, from when I was like 6, 7, 8, I can't remember exactly, until I was 18 and I went to uni. And that was Moyes.
Do you see it? Does it feel weird seeing him return from when he used to be when you were a kid to now?
I think the most, again, I was talking to Harry about this yesterday, the most like, regret is the wrong word because I didn't do it, but like the most disappointing maybe is the way to say it thing about Everton in the last, as long as I can remember, like I don't really remember when I was 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, was what Moyes did with the club and how well we did with no money. And then he rightfully, in my opinion, got his chance to manage what was at the time, it's fucking terrible now, but at the time, like the biggest club in the world, Man U. And he ended up kind of just being like, when they sacked off the Top Gear presenters and they got Chris Evans in and he's just like a fall guy. Like nobody was ever going to present Top Gear well after Clarkson, May and Hammond. No one was ever going to succeed managing Man U after Fergie. And as we now see, 10 years later, no one is going to succeed managing Man U at all because the place is an absolute...
It's too turmoil, isn't it?
Mental. Like whatever. It's really sad, and you can't begrudge Moyes going, but it's really sad that when we then got loads of money, he wasn't the one that got to guide the club through that period, and we got managers and owners who did stupid deals and signed shite players and backhanded deals and waste money on this player, and then the next manager just sells them straight away. And this
so
guy's
what you're saying is Moyes done the nitty gritty, and he deserved that.
I would have loved to see if we got to spend hundreds of millions like Ronald Koeman did on players. Remember that season?
Under Moyes.
But Moyes got to spend it. Remember when we signed like 6 centre attacking mids in one transfer window and spent like 200 mil on like the same position? I can't even remember who it was. We got Sigurdsson, didn't we? Like 50 mil.
Yeah.
But we also signed Rooney. But we also signed Davy Klaassen. But we also signed, and it just, the list goes
all the
on
same
and on.
Position.
Yeah. And it's just like, who's okay in that? And then we had mad stuff where like Mashiri's mates with an agent, so then we're signing that left winger, his name is currently escaping me, on loan, wasted one of our loan slots, never played a game for us, but his mate is that Kaj or whatever he's called.
Don't remember. Maybe
and we're El Ghazi.
Okay.
El Ghazi's
from Aston Villa, was it?
I can't remember who we got him from, but he basically never played for us, did he? And you only get 2 domestic loan slots, but the owner's mate is his agent, so now he plays for Everton. Brilliant.
Yeah.
So I wish
get it.
Moyes was there, and I wish he got to actually pick the players, and we could be so good. I hope we sell the name rights to the stadium and he gets the money from that. I hope we get huge commercial deals and an influx of revenue. Like Liverpool made a fortune from Taylor Swift having her concerts at Anfield. Our stadium's well better now.
Yeah.
So when big concerts like that come around, they're going to be at Goodison instead.
And we can host like the Euros and
Yeah.
we Liverpool aren't allowed to do that because of the pitch or something. Like it's too close to the stands.
Oh, really?
I think there's something, or it's not big enough. But now we can. So the money we'll be bringing off that'll be brand new players, brand new everything.
Sounds very American, doesn't it? And very like corporate and commercialized. But I guess we do have American owners now, so it is going to be a bit more corporate and commercialized.
I think you need it though when you're competing against the likes of the top 6 or the top 4, should we say. To compete against them, you need that influx of money, don't you, really, when you think about it? What's the difference you see from the Moyes when you were 6, 7, 8, obviously what you can remember, to now? In the terms of like, do you see much difference in him as a manager? Obviously, he's a lot older.
I think he's a lot more, he seems, at least from what I can remember, a little bit more, I don't know if streetwise is the right way to put it, but like, he's kind of been around the block a little bit. That sounds a little bit derogatory, you know, when Sam Allardyce gets annoyed at people saying he's a wheeler dealer. That's not what I mean. I mean, like, he's had a lot more experience and he doesn't take no nonsense and stuff. And like, when you see him doing the interviews, he's talking like, they're saying, what's the team like? How are we doing? Bloody. And he's not like beating around the bush. He's like, yeah, we're doing quite good. We need to sign some players. Not really that good.
He's gone straight to it, isn't he?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Whereas I feel like he's a lot less PR-y, kind of. Like,
it's like he doesn't.
It's a bit refreshing.
It's refreshing because it's like he doesn't care about the media.
Yeah, yeah.
He cares about the squad.
But he's like old and like he's been there and done that, and he
doesn't need to impress.
Yeah.
It's so nice. You're so true on what you're saying. Okay, here's the ultimate question. Pick your all-time 11 for David Moyes of his era in Everton.
The players?
Players, all-time 11. Of who he's managing now to who he's managed. If you can remember. It's an hard question.
Pickford?
Yep. Going 4-4-2, nice and simple.
Honestly, I reckon it's probably Pickford and the team from last time.
The full 10 players from last time?
I think so. Some of the, like Coleman's still there, and it would count for now. Baines
is solid left back.
Jags. You can maybe put Bramthwaite in. He's really, really good. Tarkovsky's been good. Obviously scored that screamer, so he'll have the 2 centre-backs scoring the 2 screamers in the derby. But Jags and Distan for that one season were absolutely insane.
Distan. Oh, do you know, he followed me back, I don't know if he followed me back or he messaged me, or I just love him. And I was just admiring him. He's doing like CrossFit and that now, like
really?
Like crazy marathons.
I was going to say, I can imagine he's absolutely jacked out of his mind. He's huge.
He's a unit. He's lifting serious weights and everything, but I just love him.
So, like, who else would be the options? Like, remember Joseph Yobo or like Alan Stubbs or David Weir? They were all Moisey players, aren't they? I feel like he'd have to go. Bramthwaite is a huge prospect and still super, super young, but I'd give Jags. I can't really, off the top of my head, I can't remember all of the players, but whoever Jags' best partnership was with, go with them too. Carsley, Pienaar.
There's a lot of good players, isn't there?
Cahill,
comparing the
Fellaini.
Fellaini was a player, man.
Did Moyes ever manage? I don't think he did. Richarlison. I love Richie.
No, I don't think he
or
managed
Lukaku.
Richarlison. That was more. Who was Richarlison? That was more
Marco Silva and then Coman and
not Benitez
and Ancelotti and stuff like that.
Yeah. We had a lot of managers over Richarlison's
it's crazy, isn't it? Like, let me go on the team. So for now, Injai, what a player. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
To me, he's the one who like you see and you're like, Christ, he's got a footy. Like, absolutely insane.
His story's actually so interesting too, and I'd love to pick his brains on it one day of like how he went from
Sunday League.
Not Sunday League,
it's mad,
all the way up, and now he's playing for one of the biggest Premier League clubs.
Yeah. I absolutely love Pickford. He's basically saved us. Him and Iwobi that one season, and Dele Alli come off the cameo, and then the season after, Pickford basically just saved us from relegation like 2 or 3 seasons in a row.
Yeah,
Man's an absolute well beater. Coleman is incredible and still here. So I mean, Moyes bought him for 60 grand. Like, imagine you give Moyes 60 mil. Do you know what I mean? But Baines is my favourite Everton player ever.
Leighton Baines?
Yeah.
What about that time when he was managing us? Was you like proper like, oh my God.
It was weird, that, wasn't it? Do you know who's Idrissa Gana Gay? Really good. But is he been here so long and obviously left and then come back? Would he have been there for Moyes' first one? I'm not sure, because he's quite old,
he's had
isn't he?
6 seasons at us.
Total.
Total.
But with a gap in the middle for playing for PSG and stuff.
PSG. You went and won some trophies and then came back and was like, what's happening, the boys? Okay, in terms of that 11, I get you just the way you're going with it. What I want to shift to is you are the guy for FIFA or now FC. Who's the best Everton player to use in FC? Currently, yeah.
Jack Harrison or Harry Hesketh's Jack Harrison.
Is it really? Because I played in an FC tournament and I had Dwight left wing.
Yeah.
And I got battered. Harry said to me, you may as well not turn up. Because like the difficulty level. You
got to do Evos. Do you know what an Evo is?
Yeah, the green cards.
Yeah, so the green, but they're also different colours now. So there was a team of the year one. So I put Jack Harrison is for Everton men's. There's Payne from Everton women's is a right wing, and I feel like there might be another one. But anyway, there's Stanley Mills as well. I'm pretty sure he can play right wing, but he's bronze. In terms of like gold cards, and then the men's team specifically, Jack Harrison's the only right wing in our team on Ultimate Team. So this Evo come out where you had to put a right winger into it in order to like make them this god tier team of the year card. So I've got like this, and Harry's got a version of it as well, where ours are slightly different because Harrison's also a cam. So I put him in this Bon Matty thing when she won the Ballon d'Or. You could like turn Harrison into kind of like Bon Matty. So he's got like technical plus and dead good at dribbling and stuff. I then put that into the team of the year one for a right winger, and that card is mad. And then Harry put his Jack Harrison into the right wing one.
Just insane.
And they've got slightly different play style pluses because Harry didn't do the Bon Matty one first. But yeah, they're really good. I've got a team of the year, Jared Branthwaite. He's really good. I've got an Njai who's like 81 rated, but his stats are mad. He's class. But it's all, you got to Evo them.
You've got to upgrade them.
We don't get special cards, Ryan. You get Tarkovsky hasn't had an inform. Beto hasn't had an inform. Alcaraz isn't even on the game.
Why is that Premier League?
Yeah.
FC, please.
Why is Njai? The current promo is called Grassroots Greats, which is about people like Jamie Vardy coming up through the...
Why isn't Njai in there?
Ask EA.
You ask EA. You've been working with them for so long. Okay, now we're on the whole subject of games.
Yeah.
Football Manager's just released that they're not bringing out the 25.
They've just not released, yeah.
They're just not releasing it.
Yeah. I respect that.
Do you?
Yeah.
Is it funding? I haven't looked really into it. I just wanted to bring it up with you.
I don't really play I respect Footy Manager as a game. It's not a game that I personally play a lot. I've had sponsorship deals from Footy Manager and stuff like that. Like Footy Manager, I used to play Footy Manager quite a lot when I was younger. Don't play it so much anymore. But as an actual game, like I respect that it's a good thing. And just because I don't personally play it loads anymore doesn't mean it's not really good and loads of other people play. So I'm quite happy like be sponsored by Footy Manager and stuff like that. Whereas I get some things like, would you want to advertise this? And it's like, no, I'd never use that. And I don't think the people who watch my content would ever use it either. Whereas Footy Manager is something that I've like been sponsored by them recently, but don't personally, I'm not huge into the community. Like, I know what it is. Player of it. I'll get it on my iPad if I go on Aldi to play on the plane and stuff like that. But I don't like play it day to day. So I'm not 100% like clued up on it. Like I know rough stuff. I've worked with them a little bit, but don't know. But I respect that they've gone, do you know what? This game's not good enough. We're not going to release it. Fair play.
Do you think that makes EA or FIFA or FC, what the whole organisation is, the most dominant in the scene right now? Because
that doesn't. They just are anyway.
They just are anyway.
Yeah. Oh mate, Footy Manager's nothing on EA Sports. That's like
just a gigantic difference.
Yeah, it's like some garage round the corner being compared to Audi or something like that, you know?
Yeah, it just
like,
doesn't...
It's just not the same.
Do you think when you look at the whole aspect of creating content, YouTube, short form, long form, do you think that's took over traditional media? Do you think people watch content now instead of traditional media more? Like, would you go to someone on Instagram for news about something instead of the news or a BB?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Traditional media is always... I'm trying to think of the way to word it before you clip it for bonus content and get me cancelled.
Don't worry, bro. I'll never get you cancelled.
No, like, frustrated is probably the wrong word, but I started doing YouTube in an era where it wasn't this big businessy kind of thing. And not, sounds a little bit arsey me saying yourself, like one of the pioneers, I guess. So like, for example, people always say to me, who's the best YouTuber ever? To me, it's KSI because he pioneered making YouTube videos. I was at the forefront of making content when it became like a business and like being very brand friendly and working with companies and showing them how to do PR campaigns and how you can utilize like an audience online and all stuff like that. But he was the step before me where it was like, he literally made YouTube Like it went from here's a stupid video of a cat to he was actually making like long form videos that we was talking about, where it became that thing about people. So then I have been at the forefront of like YouTube, going from when I first started doing it, you didn't make any money. I remember I had a coin sponsor. I used to get paid £1 a video. So we'd always go out at uni on a Wednesday night, and I'd always make sure I uploaded like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So I had £3 because that was free Jaeger bombs.
Wow, so now the coin sponsor changed over time though, because I've heard a lot of stories of
I haven't had a coin sponsor for years. Like EA really, really cracked down on it like 7 or 8 years ago, something like that. But I remember the first, like when I was telling you about giving myself a year, I remember the coin sponsors were all in China. So you used to have to stay up to like 3 o'clock in the morning to wait to talk to them. And I remember like the first time they offered me like a salary and a bit like a monthly retainer fee, and they offered me like $1,000 a month or something like that, and I was literally shaking.
You were like, no
I was like
way.
sat in my bedroom in my mum's house, and I remember like running into my mum's room and like waking her up to tell her, because I was like, oh like this is absolutely insane. Yeah, because I was like at the forefront of like YouTube becoming a business, and I've had like my most views month on YouTube ever is something like 20 million views in a month, but like long form views, none of this short form nonsense.
This is how you know where he stands on short form.
You don't make any money from getting a short form video. You can get 100 million views on a short form video, and you'll make £6.
You'll make nowhere near what you make on a long form video.
Nowadays, if I got like 100 million, not 100 million, if I got 20 million views in a month now, that's so much money. Whereas back then, you barely even got like £1.
I feel like it's so
for
rare
1,000 views
to see a long form video do numbers now.
It depends whose channel, doesn't it? Like
Mr.
if you look at
Beast.
Sidemen and stuff like that, or like Chris's videos get 1 million views and stuff like that.
I feel like they've refined their craft so well. People go to them knowing what they're getting.
Yeah, I can't remember how we got into this, but basically, like I have been there whilst YouTube. Oh, we were talking about traditional media.
Yeah,
I've been there whilst YouTube like became this thing in social media, like it was pioneered and turning it from this stupid kids in their bedroom into like an actual business and stuff like that. So it always really used to frustrate me that, for like, to use an example of a show that doesn't exist anymore, Soccer AM, we'd get invited by Sky, and I went and filmed a video in Soccer AM's car park. Just rocked up myself, tripod like that, not even a camera as good as that one that I'm currently looking down, like a couple £100 for like some old Canon 7D or something like that. Terrible lens on it. Plonked it there, had a little shotgun mic on the top, and it was when they had that robotic Manuel Neuer.
Oh, the keeper?
Yeah. I think we were there with Smith, Joe Palmer's, the Sunday League YouTube footy team.
Oh, yeah, Palmer's.
And I think it was that. It might have just been me and some of my mates, other YouTube mates. But anyway, we've been a couple of times. But anyway, that video, I uploaded it. And this was back when like I was like fully in the YouTube algorithm and getting loads and loads of views and stuff. In like a week or two, it's got like 300, 400, 500,000 views or whatever. And I'm like, fucking hell, that's a good video, that. Like, just me, my mates kicking footies in Soccer AM's car park.
Proper simplistic,
I was like,
entertaining.
I wonder how many viewers Soccer AM gets. Bear in mind, we've just been to they've got these whole studios. They've got multiple cameramen. They've got cameras that cost hundreds of thousands of pounds. They've got entire teams of people doing it. They're sponsored by Gillette. They've got actual rights to the football to show clips. If I upload a football clip, my YouTube channel will get terminated. Yeah. All of this mad stuff. They play like actual music. They got Tim Lovejoy, Helen Chamberlain, Tubes, all of these people spending amounts of money that I can't even comprehend on the production value for this show each week. It's like half the amount of people watch it.
200,000.
Yeah, it was like 200,000-300,000 when I googled it. I don't know if that's actually like a real figure, because it doesn't always get released and stuff, and like the TV viewing figures are like kind of guesstimated, aren't they? But yeah, my video booting footies in the car park, as far as I know, got more views than the actual show that they'd invited me on. And I was like, oh my God, I'm on the telly. Wow, isn't this so cool? Now they're like, stand over there and don't make any noise and whatever. And then I'm like...
So what's your feeling around this then? What are you trying to get across to me?
So...
Because I know what you're trying to say.
Yeah, so then I've gone through all that thing and like been really frustrated that like, look at how much of an audience we have. Look at how successful this is. Look at how much value there is there if you want to turn it into a business and commercialize it and stuff. I've been there through the whole thing, and I feel like companies, that was your original question, and now like getting onto it and starting to do their own social media stuff. And it still does sometimes frustrate me to see them do it in the way that they do, and that they're clearly like this huge organization, but they don't really know what they're doing.
They don't.
Yeah. And I'm like, just employ, like you work with Everton a lot now, for example. That's something I've wanted to do for ages. And that's something I've been trying to do for like, since way, way, way before you was doing it. And I would look at their content, and maybe this is going to make me less likely, or maybe they'll think, oh, do you know what? Andy knows what he's doing. I would look at their content like 5-10 years ago and just think, what are you doing?
I never even looked at the content 5-10 years ago.
Yeah. And it used to really annoy me, because as somebody who is in a volatile industry, and I mean, it's now 5 or 10 years later and I am still here, which is great, but it's still a volatile industry. Like, people might decide they don't like my content anymore or whatever. Getting a slightly more stable job, or like branching out and doing different things, and like becoming a presenter, for example, for Everton, or becoming a presenter for EA or on the telly or whatever it may be, or like doing different forms of content creation for different organizations and stuff, creates a much more stable business and a much more, Andy's going to be able to pay his mortgage, basically.
100%. I think companies and organizations like football clubs, businesses are starting to realize we want to do this and we want to be creative, but actually there's people out there better than us at this, so let's hire them.
Yeah, so it's always frustrated me that they didn't turn around and go, right, who's the most in the know? Who's the best at social media? Who knows what to do? And that's an Everton fan. Oh, it's Andy. Here's some money, Andy. Would you like a secondary career option? Come and help make our content. Come and do this stuff. And I would have been able to make such good content. Like I said, I was going and kicking footballs with my mates in Soccer Games car park and getting like 400,000 or 500k views. Give me the Everton players to kick footballs with at that time, and we'd have got millions on Everton's channels, but it was like talking to a wall. And I don't know why, and it's frustrating. And I would still 100% do it now. And like Man City, for example, say what you want about their like corporatization and their sanitize it, like it's very new money sort of football club. What they do with their content team and stuff like that is incredible. And they are like the pioneers, and they are so good at it. My mate FG is their like one of their lead presenters.
Shout out to him, mate. He's a legend.
City are so good. Irrelevant to what you think of like their football and their transfers and all stuff like that.
They take the football out of it.
The way they've pioneered, like creating access to the team, showing the team. They had obviously the documentary and stuff like that. Their YouTube content's so good, and they just know what they're doing. But they know what they're doing because they've given people who
a chance, know
what to do, and said, "Here you go. You do your thing," rather than
don't.
Yeah, well, we're this big company. We know what we're doing. It's like, you don't. And it's the same with like TV channels. It's the same with news stations and stuff like that. I get it.
When you're name dropping people like FG, obviously you're very good friends with so many creators. Matt HD, Ginge, Danny Aarons, myself. I wouldn't put me in that bracket of big creators, but I'm just a creator who's a friend with you. You are like a father role to a lot of people. That's the way I see you. Like everyone comes to Andy for advice.
Yeah.
Everyone messages Andy for advice. Like everyone's like, Andy, like I've messaged you for advice. I'll speak about my experience. I was like, I don't know what my worth is. I was also going through a little bit of a burnout, being like, is this what I want to, like, what am I doing it for? Mm-hmm. And you were like, you've got to take a step back and realize, and I feel like now I have. What is your biggest, like, most important piece of advice to the young creators who haven't got the access to your number or don't actually have no role model they can just ring, but they want to start? What would that advice be to, like, I don't know, just help them? Because everyone comes to Andy for advice, but not everyone can come to Andy for advice.
Yeah, I think it's very hard to give general advice and generalizations. I feel like to be like wise about something, you've got to be quite specific about it. So if you came and asked for a specific piece of advice, I'm sure I would have an experience that I could play on for that and give you some advice from my own experiences. In terms of just like really, really generalized stuff, it's quite difficult to just pull nuanced quotes like out of my arse. But like we talked about like the financial independence stuff, and we talked about like having to enjoy it and things like that. But
let me reword it from your experience so it's more specific. What's one thing you wish you knew when you started that you know now to help new creators?
I don't know. I don't know if there is anything. I think what I've done, one of the most, so I went to, for a slight tangent, I went to Belfast to give a talk at like an education conference thing where kids were learning about technological jobs and like STEM and stuff like that. And they wanted me to go and like give a keynote thing. And I was like, what am I going to talk about here? Like, they've obviously just been like, oh, Andy's YouTube channel, he's kind of famous. The kids will love it. But I was like, but I can't just go there and be like, hey, you want us to play Scrabble Showdown? Do you know what I mean? Like, I had to say something that was actually poignant. So it took me a while to like write a speech. But the thing I ended up settling on was the ability to learn. And I think it's one of the most important skills that people can have. People think of intelligence as being able to memorize stuff and know stuff and spout stuff off. And if you've watched any of my videos, I will just like spout off absolute nonsense, like random facts and stuff like that. Because I find stuff like that interesting.
Fun,
but the most important life skill that you can have, and this will apply to content creation and will apply to anything that you do, is the ability to learn efficiently. And in order to do that, the most important thing, and I think I would, if I'm like being big-headed and being arsey or whatever you want to say, I would consider myself as someone who's quite smart. Like, I've got a degree, I've done well in school, I got like A's in my GCSEs, I got A's in my A-levels, I got a degree and stuff. But it's not because I've got like some mad, super photographic memory or some shit, you know, like, and then I've like picked up golf, I've done YouTube, I've learned to do that, I can do loads of different things, I've learned how to speak, even though when I first made my video, I was like, hello, welcome to a trading video with Andy. And I was like, the one biggest skill that I have got is a very good feedback loop and ability to learn. And this is what I like spoke to the kids about. You need to, the other thing which my girlfriend does say is confidence, or as Kate would say, overconfidence. Like, I think that I can do anything. And
That's
whether it's learning something, it's like, there's so many things that, even like athletic things, like I'm reasonably athletic, but not like some like superhuman talent or stuff like that. I'm just really confident at stuff. So like, I'll just go and have a go. And I'll be like, okay, why couldn't I do that? What do I do? And I've never really been absolutely elite at anything, especially sports. But I've always been like jack of all trades, quite good at stuff. I can play a bit of squash. I can play a bit of footy. I can ski.
You never tell yourself no?
Yeah, because I just try and I have confidence. But you have that confidence because you know that you can apply a good feedback loop and learn and improve each time you do it. So you need to be able to look at yourself objectively, think, what am I doing good? What am I doing bad? What are other people doing that is better than what I am doing? And how can I learn from what they've done and apply it to myself? So then when you're saying, what's the piece of advice or what would I change? I'm not sure I would, because everything that I've done and gone through, and this sounds really just proper cheesy philosophical. I don't mean it like this, where I wouldn't change a thing because everything I've gone through has made me the person I am today. Nah, all that, I'm not really into all that philosophical shite, but like the fact that I didn't know anything meant that I had to learn it myself. So we were talking a little bit off camera about one of my manager asking me, what sort of equipment would you get if you're starting streaming? And I was like, well, it depends how much money you've got, whatever, because some people might want a little Logitech webcam, some people might want a DSLR, and they're like, oh, they've got loads of money, the budget doesn't matter, blah, 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 blah. My answer was, fucking Google it. Why am I telling you?
Yeah, why are you asking for the shortcut?
Learn yourself. And that's the one thing that I am actually good at, is just learning stuff and just like internalizing it and actually understanding why something works. Is this camera good? Is that camera good? I don't know. I don't know what a camera is. Right. How do I find out what makes a camera good? Does this camera, okay, we want this, 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 and this. Does this one have it? No. Does this one have it? Yes. This one.
Maybe there's something there, and because multi-millionaires don't want to learn, they haven't got the time to learn in areas they just want to buy for. No, they do,
because unless you've been given your money, you've learned something.
Yeah, but they're so good at something else, they want to spend all the time in that because that's where they're earning the money. Sure. So they'll hire someone. So maybe there's something there for you where you're that willing to learn and you're already that knowledgeable in an area. You'll get paid multi-millions of pounds to be Andy.
But for other people and creators and stuff, it's that talk and that having the confidence in your own ability and not your current ability. That's what I said to the kids. That's the important thing. Having the confidence that you will be able to get good at it and learn it. And it doesn't matter if you're bad at it now. So long as you take the feedback loop and say, why am I bad at this? What can I do slightly better next time? And I will have a go again because I'm confident that I will do it slightly better next time. And then I'll apply that feedback loop again.
Yeah, it's constantly going through that.
And I think that's the thing I've learned more recently, that is the actual thing that I'm good at. Like you can sit here and say, oh, Andy's got this big YouTube channel, he's so good at YouTube, Andy's done whatever.
There was
done
a
this,
time
this,
where
and
you
this.
never had that, and you were failing, and you had to feed back to yourself and learn, and now you've got to that stage because of that.
And it's not because I'm good at YouTube, or it's not because you said, oh, I'm falling asleep here listening to you just talk. It's not because I'm good at talking. I wasn't good at talking in school. I was so shy, and so hated drama, wouldn't do music.
You've overanalyzed yourself to get to a stage where you want to be, and you are good at skills, and that's the key component there.
Yeah, but it's from learning them, and to say what's the piece of advice I'd give myself, I guess, trust yourself and have the confidence, but there's not like one thing I would teach myself, because I think you have to learn it yourself. And it's definitely not, I hate pulling the ladder up behind yourself. It's definitely not that. But I do think you can't just spoon feed people at the same time.
There's got to be a will there if you want to do it.
You got to want to do it. It's like that person we were talking about wanting to start streaming. If you don't want to start streaming enough to learn how to stream, what are you doing?
You're not going to last in it.
Yeah, what's the point? You got to learn it yourself.
I get it. I've got some quick fire questions for you. You ready for them?
Go on.
What's the most overrated skill move in FIFA Ultimate Team?
Overrated? Trickster plus, pressing the right stick in. Stupid play style.
You were stuck in a lift with Peter Crouch, David Moyes, Roy Keane. Who do you want in there with you, and who's getting the stairs?
Crouchy's proper sound. So he could be in. He's a really nice guy, actually. We filmed that golf video with him.
Yeah.
It was for a charity day, for a charity. As far as I was aware, I'd like driven down to London to film with Crouch as part of this charity day and like advertise the charity and stuff. As far as he was aware, he was just playing golf, and there'd been some sort of miscommunication there. And I went and like introduced myself and started talking to him about this video and stuff. And he must have thought, who the fucking hell is this guy?
Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah. And then we got to the first tee, and he's like, what? And like, I could empathize with it because I've had it myself where people are like, oh, can we just film this bit of content like you did outside? No, it's fine. I'm only winding you off. But like, you'll be at an event or something, and someone's like, a brand will come up to you and be like, can we film? It's like,
put pressure on you, and you're like, hang on, I've got a mortgage to pay. This isn't really.
Yeah, exactly. So then
whereas
I could
my
empathize
short
with
form's
it.
going to bring you business.
Yeah. Whereas it was hard because we'd both been completely miscommunicated too.
You were down there to do a job.
Yeah, but he didn't realise he was meant to, and now he was pressured to do
like
it.
An ambush, innit?
Yeah. I basically ambushed him. But once he settled in after a hole or two and realised, oh, this guy's all right. He's proper sound. He's really, really, really nice guy. So I definitely have Crouchy in there, and I like his podcast as well. So we can talk about that. Feels mean kicking one of them out. I think Roy Keane's funny. He's definitely a persona, isn't he? Like,
you've got to kick one of them out.
Do you know the way people say, you've murdered someone? Roy Keane... I say people, it's me.
Yeah, it's just Andy.
Yeah, Roy Keane acts on camera like he's murdered someone, but I feel like in real life he'd probably be actually sound.
Big
and he's just
bear.
like, he's just playing a character a little
so
bit.
So
is
Moyes getting the stairs?
No, because I'd really like to talk to Moyes just about Everton. So I don't really want to kick either of them out.
The stairs,
can we not all
Andy?
just walk down the stairs? I don't really use the lift.
So you all want to walk down the stairs?
Yeah.
Okay, all four of you are walking down the stairs. If you had to delete one, FIFA itself, Ultimate Team Forever.
Like FIFA the organisation?
Or your YouTube channel.
FIFA the organisation or the game?
The game.
Obviously, game.
It's FC now, isn't it? FC. So would you rather delete the game, Ultimate Team Forever, the mode, or your YouTube channel?
I guess you'd have to do Ultimate Team because I could still make like career mode videos and stuff. It's the most logical thing to say there.
Yeah, fair enough. But you know, a lot of your videos are.
I back myself to make good career mode videos. I made a really good career mode. I became the Everton manager. Actually, you should go and watch that.
Last one.
Go on.
You can sign a prime Messi for Everton, but it means you can never film a YouTube video again. Are you taking the deal?
No, I'll just throw you back to that other one. Football's not the most important thing in the world. I don't care. Yeah.
Andy, you have been a fantastic guest today. I can only thank you so much for coming on. Where can everyone find you?
YouTube, AJ3. YouTube, AJ3 Plays for the Road to Glory. Andy Castell Golf on Instagram and YouTube. And Andy Castell on Instagram as well. I've got loads of different social medias. AJ3 is the main FIFA one. Andy Castell Golf for the golf stuff.
I'm going to play around the golf one day.